horse outside by sycamore tree, single a green willow. Her head on her bosom, her head on her knees, sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams run by her and murmur, sing willow, willow, willow. Her soft tears fell from her and softened the stone, sing willow, willow, willow. Prithee, hie thee, you come anon, sing all the green willow must be my darling. Let nobody blame in this scorn or your proof.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge, the first one for December. Happy holidays. It's a holiday season, and maybe that's why we've got only myself and John here today. Not that I don't enjoy his company, but wishing more of our regulars could have made it today. Brandon said she was coming. Hopefully she'll make it late. A couple people said something came up and they weren't going to be able to make it, but if it's just the two of us, we'll still have fun, perform monologues for you guys here today. And if it's just the two of us, maybe we'll both go twice to get a little bit more exercise in for us, and a little bit more of a show for the people watching. So John is going to perform a random monologue first, and let's bring up the wheel for him to see what he's going to perform as his first monologue. Coriolanus. I think this is a new one. You'll be the first one to do this one. I just added this to the wheel recently. Coriolanus, Act 3, Scene 1. I believe this is when he's campaigning for consul the first time and has to bow down to the people, which he hates to do.
And what was the scene and act again? Act and scene, please, again. I didn't write it down.
Act 3, Scene 1. And it begins with, "I'll give my reasons."
Okay. Okay, I don't think I'm quite reading it right. It's not. Oh, there it is.
You got it? Okay, so I'll take myself out of the stream and you can go whenever.
Okay. His first line again, I'm sorry. His first line again.
I'll give my reasons.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Must be down a ways. Okay, got it. I'll give my reasons, more worthier than their voices. They know the corn, I can't see. They know the corn was not our recompense, resting well assured that ne'er did service for it, being pressed to the war. Even when the navel of the state was touched, they would not tread the gates. This kind of service did not deserve corn gratis, being in the war their mutinies and revolts, wherein they showed, nor valor spoke not for them. The accusation which they have often made against the Senate, all cause unborn, could never be the motive of our so frank donotion. Well, what then? How shall this distant multitude digest this Senate's courtesy? Let deeds express what's like to be their words. We did request it. We are the greater poll, and in true fear they gave us our demands. Thus we debase the nature of our seats and make the rabble call our cares, fears, which will in time break ope the locks of the Senate and bring in the crows to peck the eagles. Sorry, I had such trouble reading it.
Yeah, nice. So I will take a turn now, and I will perform. All the more off the stage. About the most famous monologue ever, but haven't done it in a while. We had retired that, taken it off the wheel, and I'm the first one to get it since putting it back on. I can practically do this one by memory, but I better bring it up on screen just to be safe. Okay. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in a quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cape and line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth stage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. And his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, his second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Okay, I don't think I've ever done that one before. Probably the most famous ever, and yet I've never done that. So that was fun getting to do that finally. Okay, so back to John. Since there's only the two of us, we're going to perform twice each. So next, John is going to do. Bottom's Green. Act 4, Scene 1. This is the end of Act 4, Scene 1 after Bottom has just woken up.
Okay. Act 4, Scene 1.
Yes, at the very end of it.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you've got that, I'll kick
I'm
myself.
almost there.
Maggie has just joined us. We're glad to have you, Maggie. So we'll do Maggie after you.
Okay. When my cue comes, call me, and I will answer. My next is most fair Pyramus. Hey ho, Peter Quince. Flute the bellows mender. Snout the tinker, starveling. God's my life stolen hence, and left me asleep. I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream, past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream. Methought I was, there is no man can tell what. Methought I was, and methought I had, but man is but a past fool if he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen, man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream. It shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And I will sing in the latter end of a play before the Duke, peradventure to make it more gracious. I shall sing it at her death.
Awesome. So while you're performing, Henry joined us as well. So it's glad we got two of our regulars have made it, even though they were late. So it's not just the two of us. The more, the merrier. So Maggie, welcome back. We're glad to have you. And Maggie will do. Okay, this is
Richard 351.
What's that?
I'm just saying it. Richard 351.
Yeah.
Okay. Shakespeare homepage. And so it's it's everything he says pretty much, because you're cutting the share.
He's pretty much the only person in the scene, and,
okay.
And you cut out the executioner. Okay.
Thank you. Will not King Richard let me speak with him? Hastings and Edward's children, Rivers, Grey, holy King Henry, and thy fair son Edward Vaughan, and all that have miscarried by underhand corrupted foul injustice. If that your moody, discontented souls do through the clouds behold this present hour, even for revenge mock my destruction. This is All Souls' Day, fellows, is it not? Why then, All Souls' Day is my body's doomsday. This is the day that in King Edward's time I wished might have fallen on me, when I was found false to his children or his wife's allies. This is the day wherein I wished to fall by the false faith of him I trusted most. This All Souls' Day to my fearful soul is the determined respite of my wrongs. The high all-seer that I dallied with hath turned my feigned prayer on my head, and given in earnest what I begged in jest. Thus doth he force the swords of wicked men to turn their own points on their masters' bosoms. Now Margaret's curse is fallen upon my head. When he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow, remember Margaret was a prophetess. Come, sir, convey me to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong and blame the dew of blame.
Okay, great. So Henry just made it. We're glad he's able to join us again, and he will be doing. Hear Me, Grave Father. I don't think anybody's done this one before. It's a great monologue that's not done as much as it should be. Begging for his son's lives. I think it's the very beginning of Act 3.
Yes, got it. Okay.
Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Is my audio okay? Not too loud?
Yeah, you sound fine. You sound fine.
Oh. Hear me, grave fathers, noble tribunes, stay. For pity of mine age, whose youth was spent in dangerous wars, whilst you securely slept, for all my blood in Rome's great quarrel shed, for all the frosty nights that I have watched, and for those bitter tears which now you see filling the aged wrinkles in my cheeks, be pitiful to my condemned sons, whose souls are not corrupted as to thought. For 22 sons I never wept because they died in honour's lofty bed. For these tribunes, in the dust I write my heart's deep languor and my soul's sad tears. Let my tears staunch the earth's dry appetite. My son's sweet blood will make it shame and blush. O earth, I will befriend thee more with rain that shall distill from these 2 ancient urns than youthful April shall with all his showers. In summer's drought I'll drop upon thee still. In winter with warm tears I'll melt the snow and keep eternal springtime on thy face, so thou refuse to drink my dear son's blood. O reverend tribunes, O gentle aged men, unbind my sons, reverse the doom of death, and let me say that never wept before. My tears are now prevailing orators.
Awesome. Sorry I ruined part of your monologue by keeping the wheel in the... I didn't realize I had done that. You'd already started, but great job. Okay,
I'll do it again.
I'll do it again now. And I had when I thought it was going to be only myself and John, we both we had committed to go twice, but no reason we can't the 4 of us go twice before we start scene. So I'm going to go again, and both Maggie and Henry can go again before we spin for scenes for the 4 of us. So my second monologue will be... King Henry's opening monologue. I gotta keep getting ones I'm very familiar with. I'm so familiar with this one, I've even used it as an audition piece before, so probably don't need it, but I am going to bring it up anyway. So shaken as we are, so wan with care, find we a time for frighted peace to pant, and breathe short-winded accents of new broils to be commenced in strands afar remote. No more the thirsty entrance of this soil shall daub her lips with her own children's blood. No more shall trenching war channel her fields, nor bruise her flowerets with the armored hooves of hostile paces. Those opposed eyes, which, like the meteors of a troubled heaven, all of one nature, of one substance bred, did lately meet in the intestine shock and furious close of civil butchery, shall now, in mutual, well-beseeming ranks, march all one way, and be no more opposed against acquaintance, kindred, and allies. The edge of war, like an ill-sheathed knife, no more shall cut his master. Therefore, friends, as far as to the sepulchre of Christ, whose soldier now, in whose blessed arms are we, whose soldier now, under whose blessed cross we are impressed and engaged to fight, forth with the power of English shall we levy, whose arms were molded in their mothers' wombs, to chase these pagans in those holy fields, over whose acres walked those blessed feet, which 1400 years ago were nailed for our advantage on the bitter cross. But this our purpose now is 12-month old, and bootless 'tis to tell you we will go. Therefore we meet not now. And let me hear of you, my gentle cousin Westmoreland, what yesternight our council did decree in forwarding this dear expedience. Okay. I messed up with thinking I didn't need to look at it. Messed me up a couple times. I should have just been looking at it. Okay, we're back to Maggie. Are you with us still? Oh, yeah. We're
Right.
gonna all.
I'm sorry. I thought John was next, so I'm sorry.
Well, John's already gone twice. He went first.
Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I committed to do everyone did 2 monologues back when I thought it was only going to be me and John, but
Yeah. No, this is lovely. We have time. Great.
Okay,
Sorry
so
about that.
your second monologue will be. King Edward, have I a tongue to doom my brother's death?
Okay, so it's Richard 3 again, 2-1. Well, that's good because I'm in Richard. Oh no, I went to Richard 3, 2-1. Act 3, 2, Act 1, Act 2, Scene 1.
Yeah, just when he's heard about his death.
Yes. Oh, that's Gloucester. Okay. I'm scrolling. Okay, I think, yes, I see it already. Okay. Have a tongue to doom my brother's death, and shall the same give pardon to a slave? My brother slew no man. His fault was thought, and yet his punishment was cruel death. Who sued to me for him? Who in my rage kneeled at my feet and bade me be advised? Who spake of brotherhood? Who spake of love? Who told me how the poor soul did forsake the mighty Warwick and did fight for me? Who told me in the field of Tewkesbury, when Oxford had me down, he rescued me and said, "Dear brother, live and be a king"? Who told me when we both lay in the field, frozen almost to death, how he did lap me even in his own garments and gave himself all thin and naked to the numb cold of night? All this from my remembrance, brutish wrath, sinfully plucked, and not a man of you had so much grace to put it in my mind. But when your carters or your waiting vassals have done a drunken slaughter and defaced the precious image of our dear Redeemer, you straight are on your knees for pardon, pardon. And I, unjustly too, must grant it you, but for my brother not a man would speak, nor I, ungracious, speak unto myself for him, poor soul. The proudest of you all have been beholden to him in his life, yet none of you would once plead for his life. Oh God, I fear thy justice will take hold on me, and you, and mine, and yours for this. Come, Hastings, help me to my closet. Oh, poor Clarence.
Okay, great. So Henry will do one more, and then we will go on to scenes. Henry, your second monologue will be... Iago, what's he that says I play the villain? Toward the
Othello,
end.
what's that? Othello 2-3?
2-3, yeah. It's toward the end, I believe.
It's Iago.
Yeah, Iago. What's he that says I play the villain? So, there we go.
Yeah, okay, got it. And what's he then that says I play the villain, when this advice is free I give, and honest, probable to thinking, and indeed the course to win the more again? For 'tis most easy the inclining Desdemona to subdue in any honest suit. She's framed as fruitful and as the free elements, and then for her to win the more, where to renounce his baptism, all seals and symbols of redeemed sin, his soul is so infettered to her love that she may make, unmake, do what she list, even as her appetite shall play the god with his weak function. How am I then a villain to counsel Cassio to this parallel course directly to his good? Divinity of hell, when devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly shows, as I do now. For whiles his honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortunes, and she for him pleads strongly to the more to I'll pour this pestilence into his ear, that she repeals him for her body's lust. And by how much she strives to do him good, she shall undo her credit with the more. So will I turn her virtue into pitch, and out of her own goodness make the net that shall enmesh them all.
Love that one.
It's a great speech, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's familiar with the I hate the more monologue that Iago does, but I think that's his best. That's actually his best, the one that you just did.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's spin for a couple scenes for the four of us. First, we have... That should do. Okay, is Act 1, Scene 3... wait a minute. Which one is it? Give me a second here. Oh, I remember what I did here. there's the two scenes with in Much Ado About Nothing with Don John and his two co-conspirators. They're short, but I figure we can bring it. Act 1, Scene 3 starts with Don John with Conrad, and then Baraccio comes in, and I figure let's let it be continuous. Just then from the end of then let's continue it with Baraccio is there. Skip right to Act 2, Scene 2. So those three I just added that. I just had that idea. I'd forgotten about it. So that's three of us, and then the fourth person will do an additional monologue. So so the roles to choose from are in the Much Ado About Nothing. Let me know if you don't understand. We're just going to do Act 1, Scene 3, and then we'll skip it from the end of it to the same characters are on stage for Act 2, Scene 2. So Don John, Baraccio, and Conrad, and the fourth choice is to do another monologue. Maggie will choose first amongst those roles.
I will be Don John.
Don John. I will go next. I'll be Baraccio. Henry, do you want to be Conrad, or do you want to do another monologue?
Yes, I'll do Conrad, but I was just going to suggest that why don't you spin again and get two people's scenes, and then we can all do scenes.
What's that?
Well, then somebody's doing, well, whatever. Yeah, more.
I mean, yes, it just seems to me that it would be better to have two people's scenes, so that.
And how will you choose who does the other person? So just another spin.
Do you want me to? You all want me to spin again because you don't want a three-person?
That was my suggestion, but I don't know whether John.
How does everyone feel? Would you prefer I spin again and we do this one later when there's?
John, would you like a monologue?
I wouldn't mind doing another monologue, but whatever you guys decide. I mean, I hate to be. I don't mean to be so vague.
I would love to if you spin again and get two people's scenes.
Maggie, what do you think?
It's not up to me. I mean, I think John wants to do a monologue, so he's not looking so much for the scene.
No, I'm not overly wanting.
Either way, okay, good.
Henry's suggestion is quite a good one, actually. I mean,
okay.
Okay, so do two-person scenes instead.
We'll go with Henry's suggestion. I'll keep this on the wheel for another time.
Yeah, it's also a little unwieldy to have to go back and forth, so it's probably better.
Do I just spin the same one again? Yeah.
These things are supposed to be arbitrary, but they often aren't.
Yeah.
It won't go away.
All's well that ends well. Bertram and Diana. I think this is Bertram and Diana. Oh, that's 4.2. And the two bishops in Henry V, first scene after the chorus. So Canterbury and Eli. So, okay, so the four roles to choose from. The two bishops, Canterbury and Eli, at the beginning of Henry V. Then Bertram and Diana in Act 4, Scene 2 of All's Well That Ends Well. Maggie, what would you like?
I will take Bertram.
Bertram. Okay. I'll be Canterbury then. Henry, what do you want?
I'll do Diana.
Diana. So John, that leaves you to be the other bishop. So John and I will be the two bishops after Maggie and Henry do Bertram and Diana. Create the banner for Act 4 scene.
2.
So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Can somebody put this in slight context? Because I can't remember.
I believe Diana is, he's abandoned his wife that the king made him marry, and I think he's picking up on another girl. I believe
Well, this one they've set him up so that he's supposed to sleep.
Yeah.
But he's actually going to sleep with his real wife, and he's been lusting after Diana. She agrees to make it look like
this is the lady he thinks he sleeps with. Yeah.
Well, they're setting it up. I mean, they haven't done it yet, but
Shakespeare does that a couple times. He does that in what is it? Measure for Measure as well.
Yes.
One that as long as the lights are off, you can't tell who it is that you're sleeping with. Yeah,
yes,
right.
Of course, we all know that.
A little bit preposterous thing that Shakespeare does twice.
Who are you?
Okay, so that's the context.
You got it, Henry?
Yes.
Okay. They told me that your name was Fontabelle.
No, my good lord. Diana.
Title goddess, and worth it with addition. But fair soul, is your fine frame, hath love no quality? In your fine frame, hath love no quality? If quick fire of youth light not your mind, you are no maiden, but a monument, and you are dead. You should be such a one as you are now, for you are cold and stern, and now you should be as your mother was when your sweet self was got.
She then was honest.
So should you be.
No, my mother did but duty, such, my lord, as you owe to your wife.
Oh, no more of that. I pray thee, do not strive against my vows. I was compelled to her, but I love thee by love's own sweet constraint, and will forever do thee all rights of service.
Aye, so you serve us till we serve you. But when you have our roses, you barely leave our thorns to prick ourselves and mock us with our bareness.
How have I sworn?
'Tis not the many oaths that makes a truth, but the plain single vow that is vowed true. What is not holy that we swear not by, but take the highest to witness? Then, pray you, tell me, if I should swear by God's great attributes I loved you dearly, would you believe my oaths when I did love you ill? This has no holding to swear by him whom I protest to love, that I will work against him. Therefore your oaths are words and poor conditions, but unsealed, at least in my opinion.
Change it, change it. Be not so wholly cruel. Love is holy, and my integrity ne'er knew the craft that you do charge men with. Stand no more off, but give thyself unto my sick desires, who then recover. Say thou art mine, and ever my love as it begins, so shall persever.
I see that men make ropes in such a scar that we'll forsake ourselves. Give me that ring.
I'll lend it thee, my dear, but have no power to give it from me.
Will you not, my lord?
It is an honor longing to our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy of the world in me to lose.
Mine honours such a ring. My chastities, the jewel of our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy of the world in me to lose. Thus your own proper wisdom brings in the champion honour on my part against your vain assault.
Here, take my ring. My house, mine honour, my life be thine, and I'll be bid by thee.
When midnight comes, knock at my chamber window. I'll order take my mother shall not hear. Now will I charge you in the band of truth, when you have conquered yet my maiden bed. Remain there but an hour, nor speak to me. My reasons are most strong, and you shall know them when back again this ring shall be delivered. And on your finger in the night I'll put another ring, that what in time proceeds may token to the future our past deeds. Adieu till then fail not. You have won a wife of me, though there my hope be done.
A heaven on earth have I won by wooing thee.
For which live long to thank both heaven and me. You may so in the end. My mother told me just how he would woo, as if she sat in's heart. She says all men have the like oaths. He hath sworn to marry me when his wife's dead. Therefore I'll lie with him when I am buried. Since Frenchmen are so braid, marry that will I live and die a maid. Only in this disguise I think it no sin to cozen him that would unjustly win. That's a fun scene.
Okay.
Thank you, Rennie.
Okay, so now it's myself and John doing the two bishops. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
Okay. My lord, I'll tell you that self-bill is urged, which in the 11th year of the last king's reign was like, and had indeed against us passed, but that the scrambling and unquiet time did push it out of further question.
But how, my lord, shall we resist it now?
Must be thought on. If it pass against us, we lose the better half of our possession, for all the temporal lands which men devout by testament had given to the church would they strip from us, being valued thus as much as would maintain to the king's honor full 15 earls and 1,500 knights, 6,200 good esquires, and to relief of lazars and weak age, of indigent faint souls past corporal toil, 100 almhouses right well supplied, and to the coffers of the king besides 1,000 pounds by the year. Thus runs the bill.
This would drink deep.
Would drink the cup and all.
But what prevention?
The king is full of grace and fair regard,
And a true lover of the Holy Church.
the courses of his youth promised it not. The breath no sooner left his father's body, but that his wildness, mortified in him, seemed to die too. Yea, at that very moment, consideration like an angel came and whipped the offending Adam out of him, leaving his body as a paradise to envelop and contain celestial spirits. Never was such a sudden scholar made. Never came reformation in a flood with such a heady currents, scouring faults, nor never hydra-headed willfulness so soon did lose his seat, and all at once on this king.
We are blessed in the change.
Hear him but reason and divinity, and all admiring with an inward wish you would desire the king were made a prelate. Hear him debate of commonwealth affairs, you would say it hath been all in all his study, yet let the discourse of war, and you'll hear a fearful battle rendered you in music. Turn him to any cause of policy, the Gordian knot of it he will unloose, familiar as his garter, that when he speaks the air, a chartered libertine is still, and the mute wonder lurketh in men's ears, to steal his sweet and honeyed sentences. So that the art and practice part of life must be the mistress to the rhetoric. Which is a wonder how his grace should glean it, since his addiction was to courses vain. His companies unlettered, rude and shallow, his hours filled up with riots, banquets, sports, and never quoted in him any study, any retirement, any sequestration from open haunts and popularity.
The strawberry grows underneath the nettle, and wholesome berries thrive and ripen best, neighbored by fruit of baser quality. And so the prince obscured his contemplation under the veil of wildness, which no doubt grew like the summer grass, fasted by night, unseen, yet creaseth in his faculty.
It must be so, for miracles are ceased, and therefore we must needs the means how things are perfected.
But my good lord, how now for mitigation of this bill upon the commons? Doth his majesty incline to it, or no?
He seems indifferent, or rather swaying more upon our part than cherishing the exhibitors against us. For I have made an offer to his majesty upon our spiritual convocation and regard of causes now in hand, which I have opened to his grace at large as touching France, to give a greater sum than ever at one time the clergy yet did his predecessors part withal.
How did this offer seem received, my lord?
With good acceptance of his majesty, save that there was not time enough to hear, as I perceived his grace would fain have done, the severals and unhidden passages of his true tides to some certain dukedoms, and generally to the crown and seat of France, derived from Edward, his great-grandfather.
What was the impediment that broke this off?
The French ambassador, upon that instance, craved audience, and the hour, I think, is come to give him hearing. Is 4 o'clock?
It is.
Then go we in to know his embassy, which I could with a ready guess declare before the Frenchmen speak a word of it.
I'll wait upon you, and I long to hear it.
Okay. So great work, everybody, today. It was fun. Glad that some of you were late, but glad we at least eventually got a decent number of people to join the game and have fun with it. Hoping the holidays don't. Well, I don't know. We'll continue to do them unless something major comes up. We'll continue to do them through the end of the year. Hopefully, the holidays don't keep too many people from being able to participate too often. But enjoyed the day's round. I look forward to doing it again. See you guys next week on the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. Bye now.
Thanks very much. Thanks very
Bye-bye.
much, Mark. Bye.